What is the most damaging thing kids can be around / be exposed to? Domestic violence. A co-parent who brainwashes a child against the other. One that doesn't get talked about enough, an absolute don't talk to strangers mentality. It doesn't reduce their odds of getting molested or kidnapped, does nothing to prepare them for what to actually do in one of those situations to protect themselves, and instills lifelong social anxiety. Source: I was fed literal hours of stranger danger videos and now I can't make phone calls without tensing up and feeling like I'm going to be physically sick. Adults who can't control their emotions over small inconveniences or failures. Being used as a pawn by parents during divorce. Unregulated internet, trust me. Parents who stay together for the kids. Those parents who want to always stay with their child like a police helicopter. They end up not being able to do anything alone when they come to the real world. Literally, their parents. If they are clueless about how to properly care for their child, especially during the first 5 years, the damages can last a lifetime and are very difficult to help. TikTok. 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 As someone who has a chain-smoking mother, cigarettes has got to be up there. Second-hand smoke is no joke. Abuse, neglect, and violence. Emotional trauma. Physical or emotional abuse either between the parents or towards them. Bullying. Toxic masculinity / femininity. Been treated as less than human. Parents who don't have any emotional intelligence and don't know how to show love. Grew up with parents who never been hugged, therefore hugs were something I get on birthdays. Red circle edit red circle. I feel the need to clarify some things. My parents were very loving but in their own ways. They made lots of presents and my dad was a quality time kinda guy and would often take me swimming on the weekend when I was little. My mom was never a hugger. I asked her to hug me a few times in the last years and I could tell it was uncomfortable to her. She often refused to hug me when I was crying. Both parents were and still are overwhelmed by me. I have lots of strong emotions. My mom can be cold. A few weeks ago I had a mental breakdown and was screaming and hitting my head. I have bad depression and got diagnosed with ADHD in December. My mom was not even trying to calm me down before it happened. I sat next to her crying and she just said, "Okay, it's all good now. Stop now please." My mom would never hug me but we would lay together on the couch and I would put my head on her belly. I was a kid that needed that a lot. I just rarely got it how I needed it. Generational trauma is to blame for this. Like I said, they never got hugged but it affected my mom a lot. She had to be a housewife at 13 BC. Her mother and father were working. Not the most damaging. But something I absolute loathe is parents that talk shit about each other in front of their kids. I have worked as a personal assistant to disabled kids for many years, and the parents go on and on about how shitty the other parent is in front of their kids. It never stops. It makes me hate the parents and quit the job, every time. Thank God I got myself another education. Parents who think children are somehow lesser than adults in terms of respect, being heard, apologized to. Which isn't to say kids should have no boundaries or guidance. But parents refusing to apologize to a kid when the parent has behaved badly is so damaging. "Hey sweetheart, I'm sorry I snapped. I'm feeling really tired today and I shouldn't have taken that out on you." Do-over teaches them so much more than just doubling down and making them feel they shouldn't exist when a parent is in a bad mood. And all the stuff about not giving into things like using the kid's favorite cup or whatever. I use my favorite mug for coffee. I do the same for my partner, just because if I can easily do something that gives a person I live a little bit of happiness, why wouldn't I? It's not spoiling them, it's just being nice to people. Abusive parents / family, it causes lifelong struggles with anxiety and insecurities. That's the case for me and my siblings, at least. Pedophiles. Radiation, it's technically the most damaging thing anyone can be exposed to. Childhood emotional neglect.